Good morning and greetings to the live people and the people watching this as a video. This is Tarot Times. We're going to dive into some divination work for the coming week based on the tarot and other divination tools. So we do a meditation card. It's chosen by Spirit through me for our meditation practice for the week. Then we have our 3-card spread. Then I have other divination tools, and Tarot Times kind of become a community hangout around here. So if you're watching this live, great. You can leave your comment. If you're watching this as a video, well, you can leave well, maybe you can psychically, and maybe we'll pick up on it even if you're watching this later. But in any event, for the people watching this as a video, I'm going to give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications, to get on, and then we're going to jump right into it. Another big week ahead. The energies are shifting very, very fast. This is basically the I don't know what the right words are right now. Well, we're coming into the heart of the earth changes, the heart of the transition from old earth to new earth now. So this is it. We're really entering showtime now. So there's likely to be things happening very, very quickly over the next several months, the next 6 months, maybe even the next couple of years or so. And as the autumn goes on, we're going to have more live streams and more information that I'm getting from Spirit about what's coming up this autumn and this winter, because this is really where it's all shifting. So let me put my glasses on and say a few quick hellos. And hi, horses triggers hope. And I love horses too. So and I see that there's the traditional delay with my upload speed. Even though I have the high speed internet here, it still does that. Good morning, Spirit Mind. Yeah, well, hi Spirit Mind family too. That's our Patreon group. And hi Doreen from Children's School of Yoga. So if anybody wants to dive deeper into what we cover here on the Medium channel, well, we have a Patreon group called the Spirit Mind Family to do just that. And hello, let me hide that. Hello, Millie and Jody and Laura B and Suzette and Linda and Colleen and Anna and Rose and Nicole and Dara and Yvonne and Sarah. Welcome. And good morning, everybody. Hi from Florida, Nicole. And anybody's new, you want to say hi and where in this big wide world you're from, or you're tuning in from, great. And the question of the day on a Sunday morning, I'm right now I'm drinking water, but are we coffee, tea, or caffeine free? I had my tea earlier, so I'm not caffeine free. Not on a Sunday morning. Sunday morning is really my Saturday. After 5 long days of doing a lot of readings and a lot of psychic work. So I'm a little burnt out, but Spirit will take over, and this will still be a good tarot time, I promise. All right, happy rising, Yvonne. 99 Wealth Portal. I wanted to post on 99 yesterday, and I was so freaking busy. I had such a busy day that I didn't get a chance to. And 99 Wealth Portal, I'll take it. 9 in numerology, it's about completion because it's the last of the single numbers or integers. So once we get past 9, we start the number 10, which starts a whole new 1 to 9 cycle. So it's about completion and endings. But 9 in numerology is also Mars influenced or Mars guided. So it brings in a lot of power, a lot of energy, and a lot of activity with it also. So my feeling of the 9-9 portal is that it's going to go in from 9-9 to 9-11, which is tomorrow. And the reason I'm saying that is because 9-11 2023, if you add 9 and 11 and then 2 plus 0 and 2 plus 3, you get 27, which reduces to 9. So that's a 9 universal day. And then on the 12th, we come into a 1 universal day. So we start to come out of that portal energy. So good time to complete things or contemplate on what it is that needs to end, or plan for new beginnings. other things that are going on is that we're in a we're near the end of the waning moon cycle, so we're coming to what's known as the dark moon, which is a good time for release and clearing the old. And also we're completing a Mercury retrograde that ends on Friday, I think. I have my ephemeris nearby. Yeah, Friday the 15th. So that's when Mercury goes direct. So it's station direct. Thursday, right before that's the new moon. So the new moon is a new cycle that begins. So as a result, we'll have our usual new moon forecast. I think I've got that on the calendar for Tuesday, and then we'll do a transmission. I haven't asked Heather yet if she's available. So Heather, Istara, and myself, or just me by myself, will do a energy transmission to help you to set the energies in a positive way for this next lunar cycle. So this week, it does have some astrological changes connected with it, and we'll continue to see a lot of things unfolding in the news as more and more information surfaces from the depths of the abyss, which is known as mainstream media. The abyss of what's not broadcast or what's hidden. So it starts to rise to the surface, but there's a lot going on in the USA, in the world, in a lot of different places. I'm seeing in my mind as I'm talking about a lot of demonstrations. So, tomorrow's 9/11. Here in the States, we celebrate what happened 9/11/2001. I don't know if celebrate's the right word, but we memorialize it basically. And the idea is, we want to make this really a memory of on one hand, but also a reminder of that we are a free sovereign being, and we're kind of faced with a lot of attacks, for lack of a better word, or a lot of suppression might be a better word, from those powers or those forces that oppress our human evolution and our sovereignty and our sense of freedom, even in this country. So we're gonna really see in the I mean, we're seeing it already, but even more so as the autumn goes on, we're going to see a lot of people citing First Amendment rights being violated. It's really become an epidemic on social media that we have no First Amendment rights anymore for all intents and purposes. And a lot of people just stating their opinions, are getting shut down. How's that free speech? How's that a First Amendment right? If you can't share what you believe, even if it's not accurate, even if it's not true, we have the right. We have free speech. That's part of what this country and the so-called free world is founded upon. So anyway, a lot of this is coming to the surface, and there's some really amazing things that are going on, a lot of awakening. There's a lot of people, myself included, but there's a lot of people that are opening up spiritually, that are teaching, that are creating community, that are connecting in community. And the whole idea is that as we connect and we share our energy, our resources, our knowledge, our perceptions, and all of that, we get stronger, as a human society. And there are forces that don't want that. They want us weak and divided, because then we're easy to control and easy to manipulate. So there's a lot of forces that are working against things, but it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the grand plan. So the more we can accept that, then we're not in anger or fear or in those negative emotions, but we're rather in empowerment, knowing that, well, we signed up for this in some way, shape, or form, and we're here on planet Earth when everything's changing. It's our classroom, whatever you want to call it, a Maya illusion, a simulation, the Matrix, whatever you want to call it, whether it's information you're getting from Vedic teachers or ancient spiritual masters, or modern day spiritual masters or even masters of science and technology. It boils down to the same thing. Whether we're living in the Matrix like Keanu Reeves and that movie, whether that's a documentary, or if it's a spiritual simulation like the ancient teachers, Maya means illusion in Sanskrit, right? And this is the world that we're living in. We're living in illusion now, but the illusion is our classroom. So point being is it all amounts to the same thing. Whatever your take on this is, that we're here to learn and to grow. And duality has become our greatest teacher over the last several thousand years. So good versus evil, that's duality. And that's keeping us growing and evolving, having negative forces and positive forces. So anyway, let me just peek at your comments, and we're going to dive right on in. And it's 11:11. Yes, you sunshine. Yeah, it's pretty gray and overcast in these parts. 11:11. Let's make a wish. At least here. And I'm a newbie. Well, I'm a newbie too in a way. Hello, Lakeside Laura. We'll flash your hello. I think you're in Central Time, right? So it's only 10:11 where you are. Well, 10:12 now. Here it's 11:12. Happy birthday. Yes, and all the Virgos and early Librans like myself, happy birthday. So all those have September birthdays. Happy birthday, Laura. Yes. Yeah, we have some people born on 9/9, right? I don't know if Laura, if you're one of them, or if today's the birthday. We honor those lost in 9/11. Thank you for articulating that. um, exactly. Um, hi, from McDonald in Duluth, Georgia. It's beautiful. It has a river and lots of deer. Yes. Happy solar return to Suzette also. So we have a lot of birthdays. Um, 11/11 is our birthday too. We are one. Yes, thank you for that. And lots of beautiful weather, lots of liquid light this last week. Well, we came out here on the east coast of the USA. We've come out of a period of some very nice weather. Although some people that don't like it hot might disagree with that, but I like hot weather, so I'm good. So anyhow, let me do a meditation card. So that's first on the agenda. And for those that are relatively new, that haven't heard my spiel on how I like to meditate with tarot cards. Well, like any other meditation, you get relaxed, present, and open. You can call on spirit also. That's nice. But you can do this anytime during the day. You can do this as a little experiment. Like anytime you just think about it, just stop thinking and become aware of your breath. I'm doing that right now. I can talk and remain in presence and open with spirit. And actually, if I'm able to do that, and I'm not encumbered by my thoughts, so what comes through in my communication is from a purer source than my ego. So that's another advantage of being present. But in any regard, when we stop our thoughts and we become present, we tune into your breath, feeling your body, be aware of everything in the present as an observer, but focusing on nothing or latching on to nothing, your consciousness automatically raises just by doing that, and it happens in a second or two, and so try that and experiment. I mean, anyhow. Thank you, Sugar Lumpkin. Nice to be here with you also. Nice to be here with everyone. I really, come to look forward to my Sunday mornings. And then, have this chance to hang out with you guys. All right. So back to meditation cards. So we get present. That's the first step of any meditation. Then you can kind of treat the card that I pick as a doorway or a window that you step into another reality. And then you just feel the energy and just look around and what do you see that's not in the card? like, like if I'm looking out of my window, I see the trees, but I don't see what's to the right or the left or behind me because there's solid walls there. But if I step through the window, then I can look around and see everything. So that's kind of the idea here. So, so you just do that and observe the scenery. You'll hear the sound, be very present in your visualization. Smell, touches, sights, all that stuff plays in. You might meet spirit guides or angels in your tarot meditation journey. So the card that they want me to use is this one. Nice. So you can't see this yet because there's a delay, but as always, uh, and it must. I mean, I'm more as time goes on, the more I'm thinking this has to be energetic because I did a live in my office, and the Wi-Fi in my office is right next to my office, and it's the highest speed internet available through Spectrum. There was still a freaking upload delay, and you're still not seeing the card. Oh my goodness! Well, it's the Six of Pentacles, and I've been holding it up for the last 30 seconds. So the delay's gotten really, really bad. So once the card comes in, once the visual catches up with my voice, then you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. This is getting worse and worse. I'm hoping that when Mercury goes direct, now you can at least you can see the card now. This is getting worse and worse with this delay. Anyhow, so get nice and relaxed. You step through the card, and then see what's happening. It's a meaning, there's scales, right? There's kind of like distribution of alms or funds, basically. And this may be just really about being open to receiving, or being, a lot of people are more comfortable giving than receiving, and that's, people that have that. I've been that way a lot of my life. It's more of a shadow aspect than anything, because we deserve to receive and we deserve to give equally. So again, just the idea is, to step into the energy of the card. What do you feel first thing when you step in, and just be in that energy and see what messages you get. Now, this could also pertain to financial opportunities. So, being that it's Pentacles, Pentacles often represents money or things that are connected to the earth or connected to our physical lives. You may get information about something financial or something more connected to your physical or earthly existence, as it were. So, anyways, let's do a 3-card spread now. Yeah, I know the delay's taking its time today. It just seems to be getting progressively worse, and I really don't understand that. If my office was around the corner, I just would get up and go there, but it's a 40-minute drive to get to my office from where I am. Colin Datsky, is YouTube doing this? This I work through StreamYard. I don't know if it's an issue with StreamYard, because but they claim not. I brought it to their attention, and they just say, well, check your internet connection, bring up whatever. But my internet connection is very good, top of the line. Yes. Hi, Gypsy Tarot. I'm not sure what hand pink waving means, unless that's what you're seeing in the screen. My pink hand waving. All right. So basically, so what are you saying? This sounds like you're thanking the universe for how great your connection with. See, I like these words of wisdom. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, and this is good. I'm grateful that I have a connection. I'm grateful that I have Wi-Fi today. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. And Pauline saying Mars and Venus not in retrograde anymore. Yeah, well, Mars has been out for a while. Venus is still pretty much stationed for a couple more days. I don't know when it actually gets to its next degree point. I think later in the week it does. And then Mercury is still retrograde for a while. All right. So what I need to do is just clear my mind for a second. Because as I often say, when you are thinking, you're not connecting to spirit or source. And when you're connecting, you're not thinking. So let me stop thinking for a second. And just feel the love, feel the energy, feel the flow. And that flow leads me to the right card because that flow is a product of spirit, basically. Ooh, you got the Queen of Rods or Wands, the Five of Cups, and then the Five of Swords. So I'm holding this up. Eventually, you'll see it, and I'm grateful that I have a Wi-Fi that's working, even if there's a delay. And the cards basically, there's 2 5s, so that's the first thing to talk about. 5 is change. 5 is freedom. 5's the number of freedoms, the number of change. It's Mercury ruled, so it can be or Mercury guided, as the case may be in numerology. So it's often about healing. It's about transitions. 5 is almost like it's a little bit like the number 1 in a way because it's the middle number, so it can be about new beginnings also. And thank you. That's good. Good idea. I'm gonna take a deep breath and release all obstructions. Yes. 5 and Millie saying ascended masters. So 1121 5 change. Yes, very good. Thank you. And here's another wonderful comment. Me too. Thank you. Yes. Ascended masters. So you're still not seeing the card yet because of the illusion of a delay. But so I'll just start talking about it. So the energy here, the Queen of Wands that we're kind of leading into now. Wands or rods is energy in action. So that there's a fair amount of yellows and blues in the card. Now I use the Morgan Greer deck for those that may wonder, and that now you can see the cards very good. And this could pertain to just some things that may be going on in your personal life. So basically the 3 card spread for this week, it may be personal information for you, maybe information that's affecting our whole community here, or the world at large, or combination thereof. Some of you may get some really good news or really good boosts in your career energies this week, I want to say. There may be some helpful energy from a female that may be middle-aged to a little bit older, I want to say. Although wands can be youthful also, so I shouldn't even put an age or that. Mature in spiritually is what they're trying to say, I want to say. But also I feel like several of you, maybe a lot of you, are going to be called to speak up and to share what you are getting, either in your job or in your family or in your life in general. So, to me, this is an energy of your projection, not like what's the opposite, not repression or stepping back. So be confident and project your energy into your situation. So in other words, a lot of people are just kind of programmed, or whatever word you want to use, to not really project their energies, but to rather feel that they're not as important. And I'm not talking about self-importance or indulging the ego or that kind of importance, but rather, you have a right to speak up. Like, you have a right to interject your views and opinions in whatever's going on around you. And I think they're saying for a lot of us to really get into the habit of stepping forward and speaking up about things that matter, and sharing your views on things. And there's also a quality of incorporating a little bit more leadership into your life and into your current, it may be family situation or personal friendship situation, but interjecting your sense of, leadership, your sense of values, and so forth. And so when we come to the Five of Cups energy here, the real key thing with this card is that the figure is really looking at three cups that have fallen, but the two cups that are still standing are behind them. Now, the idea is, there may be disappointments that come up. That's part of life. Disappointment in ourselves, disappointment in the world, and in the government leaders, all that kind of stuff. But if you're going into some situation where there's disappointment or loss, remember, that you still have a lot of blessings. There's still two cups that are standing, and the cups that have fallen can be turned upright and can be refilled also. You may be called to let go of somebody in your life that, and I think this is going to hit home for several people, that there's either somebody that you've been kind of on the fence about, I'll give them another chance, but the idea, especially in combination with the other cards, with this Queen of Wands figure, because the Queen of Wands kind of standing in their power and truth. The queens are water in tarot. It's very, very divine feminine. Wands is fire, very, very divine masculine. So there's a really good balance of divinity that's showing with that. And the thing is, as you stand in your power and you stand in your truth, people are going to fall away. Things are going to change in your life, but that's a good thing. We have to basically remind ourselves that we can't fear change, and our egos resist change because we have an underlying fear of death. It's the primitive survival instinct that we are programmed to fear death. That's what keeps people as well as animals alive. But we're not our primitive bodies. We're spirit. We're something much greater than that. When we can really connect with that, then we can lose that, firstly, that animalistic fear of death, but also that program, that social program fear of dying, and that whole thing about death is that disdain of death and ending, which is a very natural. We're coming into the autumn season. We're coming into the season of death, because what happens when things die? New things get reborn, basically. So and then the Five of Swords is really, especially reversed like this, it's really just like a lot of letting go. So, I think, for one thing, make some financial changes. You may change, people that have investments. Um, a lot of companies are going to be going under. They already are. A lot of major like chains, like food chain or pharmaceutical, like drugstores, not the pharmaceutical companies themselves. They still want to rule the world, but or be a what should I say, an outlet for a greater force to rule the world through them. Um, but I think, we're seeing like a lot of these changes. So the tower, the tower card didn't literally come up, but the tower really is falling on this old unsustainable world. It's really happening now. Spirit keeps insists on showing me dolphins in my mind, so I should speak on that. I look at dolphins, for those of you that are into like extraterrestrials, like myself, and for those of you that are new, I work with a group in my channeling called the Master Teachers, or what I call them, and they're basically interdimensional extraterrestrial group of beings that are working with us in our ascension process right now. And in order to ascend, we've got to let go of the old. And we live in a society that's built on a very weak house of cards foundation. That weak foundation is built on corruption and greed and lust for power, not for community and for the betterment of all. such a structure on a foundation like that cannot endure these energies. It's absolutely impossible. But there are those forces that don't want to give that up, that don't want to give up the control. Now, before I go on, this does not have to mean extraterrestrial influence. You can just look at our history and know that the primitive human is predicated upon territorialism. And again, it comes down to the survival instinct. And part of that is being able to have power over others in order to be able to predict the future to survive. So as we evolve into our spiritual selves, there's no real need for that nonsense. And that's what's happening. So there's forces that want to delay or completely mitigate the natural human evolution and awakening that's happening. And those forces are scrambling to maybe adapt to how humans are growing and trying to maintain or trying to seize control of that. So just one example, be very cautious about what's going on with the development of artificial intelligence and the capabilities to interface with technology, because you may be giving your power away to a greater source if you interface with that. So I think a lot of us are really faced with that decision now, and that's going to be relevant in the next few months of, do I continue going as I'm going, or do I need to maybe pull back, maybe even go off grid or semi go off grid, or just figure out where your community is and where you can go and what you can do, just in case we need to separate from what's going on out there. Um, well, anyway, again, this Five of Swords. I mean, it can be an empty victory. It can be a loss, but it's a change. And I think the idea is that a lot of us are going to be shifting our alliances and seeking more in the way of you find your own power, find your own truth, and going more within. So, some of you are in the process of a separation, or having some family issues, or even some job related issues. Have faith. It's part of a process, because you're growing and the old's not sustainable anymore. So it just cannot endure. So anyways, I'm just peeking your comments now. We're saying lots of hard decision, but it's a matter of our souls. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I'm talking. So yeah, so we had to release who I believe in my divine masculine using. Yeah, so that's part of it. Yeah, and Millie's pointing out about fear's illusion and energy never dies. Yes, exactly right. My life. So you may get Suzette, you may get a little boost from the universe this year. Yeah. All right. So let me move on. 11:33. Oh, I missed that. It's 11:34 now. That tells me I do need to move on, so that we are not here all day. um, um, sorry that you're separated and unemployed. Sorry to hear that. Shadow work. Yeah. Um, Shadow work. Me too. Yeah. Shadow work seemed to be ongoing. And sorry about your partner, MDR. I mean, yeah, there's always a reason, though. That's what faith is not always easy to come by, especially when and it's nobody's fault. We are locked into our physical lives. That's just the way that it is, and sometimes we don't understand the greater purpose. But once we are able to understand that everything is energy and that everything is divine, even if it doesn't make sense to our human selves, then we can start to grow and evolve and to sort it out. And then the true reasons become revealed in that. Yeah, to love myself deeper. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, sorry. A lot of people are catching viruses. Sorry about that. Yeah. Um, all right. So this is my Native American tarot, and the card that I pulled says Medicine Wheel. It's the you're not seeing it yet. um, if there's an illusion of a delay on the screen, but the medicine wheel is synonymous with the wheel of fortune in the traditional tarot. And the medicine wheel teachings, for other things, are amazing. This gives me an opportunity to cite that, and I'm seeing a cardinal in my mind also. So your loved ones on the other side are saying hello too. But the medicine wheel teachings is amazing, and part of it, a small snippet of that is understanding that when we come into our physical lives, we come into a position on the medicine wheel. Um, we may be at the north side of the wheel. We may be in the southeast side of the wheel. We may be in the outer circle. We may be in the inner circle. And then our jobs in this lifetime is not to stay stuck at that fixed point on the wheel, but to actually walk the wheel and start to see life from different perspectives. So, if I'm on the north and you're on the east part of the wheel and we're looking at a feather in the middle, to me, the feather looks long and flat, and to you, it looks short and narrow, but it's the same feather. It's just we're viewing it from a different point on the wheel. So basically, the teaching is that, or part of the teaching is that everything that we are energetically is reflected back to us in our lives. This happens collectively. So what's going on in the world is part of our collective consciousness. Things are falling apart for a new and better world to be rebuilt. That's part of our collective consciousness. And for people that are jumping on, I apologize that there's an illusion of a delay here on the internet. But anyway, uh, so eventually you'll actually get to see this card, uh, and other little facets of it. It's kind of like in the ground. There's different plants growing. There's 4 different colors representing the different direction. The stones represent the different points on the wheel. So it's time to take your next step. It's time to walk the wheel and to start to see your life from a different perspective on the wheel. And that can happen through meditation. That can happen through becoming more present and becoming more in your breath, and then starting to see more through the eyes of spirit, because we're all programmed. Programming is not necessarily a negative thing. We have a program that drives cars, for example. We have an innate human program that keeps our heart beating, keeps us breathing. But it's the force programming, the societal, the social conditioning type of programming that we receive through the power of repetition, primarily growing up, uh, and everything. That's what needs to be adjusted, because we are seeing more through the eyes of our programming than our eyes of our spirit, until we shift out of that, and that happens through developing meditation and presence. Um, and somebody's quoting Mickey Hart, so you're already you're already. Oh, you're going to actually see the medicine wheel now. Great. We'll take the next step on our own. Yeah, I love anything connected to Mickey Hart or the Grateful Dead, or any of that energy. So now you guys will get to see that card. Um, Let me. You're not gonna. Stay strong. You're awesome. Thank you. So yes, what's his name? And then Laura's saying to stay strong, and then Lonely Part saying, stay strong, you're awesome, just up and down, wave at the moment. Man, it's okay. Man, it's okay. Medicine wheel. Ooh, so you can, oh, that's a little bit of reflection, but you can actually see the medicine wheel now. Let me pull from Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck now. and get a message through this. And it says air guardian and shift your perception. So I'm going to hold it up and you'll see it eventually. And that's I'll flash this. I don't know how I would do this on Zoom and then translate this to a live stream on Facebook. I don't know if that's doable. Um, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Because then you know what it is. You wouldn't be able to log on Facebook. I don't think if I'm doing it through Zoom. I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know how that works. See, I need somebody that really understands technology. That's that. But anyway, air guardian, shift your perceptions. It's just sort of the that. Now air is about intellect. It's about um it's air's the element of the east, and at least according to the traditions that I've studied and followed. And uh and it's also through air, or through that we can connect, we can communicate with other beings and other light sources and light other energies. So the basic message, shifting your perception, that's how you start to change your position on the medicine wheel, because you gain a new perspective. Like somebody, I forgot who reminded me, but I was talking about there being a terrible delay, today on this broadcast, that there's an upload speed issue. And then somebody, commented, well, instead of focusing on the delay, focus on being grateful that maybe your Wi-Fi didn't crash altogether, right? And that's shifting your perception. And when you shift your perception and you flip the script, your vibration and frequency changes, and everything is vibration and frequency. So when that happens, then things on your outside world start to change also, and start to reflect the inner changes. And that, again, that's part of the medicine wheel teaching. And of all traditions, whether it's Native American or even, esoteric, I shouldn't say even, but esoteric Christianity, or mainstream religion, or Buddhism, or Vedic philosophy. The list goes on and on. They're all teaching the same thing, that it's all about perception, that everything that we perceive is a reflection of the inner energies that we're projecting out into the world. And now quantum physics is starting to tell us the exact same thing, that everything is energies, everything is frequency. What we hold this frequency instantly changes things on a quantum level, on the subatomic level. And that in time, because there is a lag in the physical, because it's a dense environment, in time those changes start to appear in our physical lives on the macro level. So everybody's saying the same things. So we need to maybe let go of whatever we're holding on to, because remember, we're 95% subconscious. The whole idea of our spiritual growth, our meditation, is to become less than 95% subconscious. So if I'm 95% subconscious, and I know this, I haven't got a clue of what I'm creating in my physical life. So I can't complain if my physical life sucks, because I don't know what's going on in that 95%. I'm only aware of a small 5%. So my job is to become aware of that other 95% and change the vibrations, change those repetitive thoughts, change that programming, so that my life starts to change. And I'm doing that. I don't have lifelong disease anymore. Oh, you can see Kyle Gray's card. Very good. You can see the card now. I'm already doing that. I don't have a physical illness that I had for almost 60 years in my life. Basically, doctors didn't help. Spending thousands on natural remedies, Reiki treatments, acupuncture, um, Ayurvedic practitioners, homeopathy, you name it, different diets or whatever. I changed my vibration and energy, and that's changed my reality. I worked for 3 years, so it took that long to make the reality in my mind that I don't have a disease. I mean, I'll call it a condition. It was severe eczema and related complications from that included problems with my liver. I had somebody finally diagnosed what I had as a rare form of eczema. Um, though it fell under the umbrella of severe ectopic dermatitis. But anyways, it was the worst case of eczema the top dermatologist at NYU Hospital had ever seen. So, and anyway, steroids, more steroids, and more steroids. That's how I was treated. So I changed the script. I changed my perception. I changed my reality. So anyway, I love telling that story. Because it's empowering. It's like, as a spiritual teacher, we need to experience and grow, not just cite what other teachers are saying. It's like I can talk about this from an empowered place because I've done it. It's not that I've read it in Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo, or other people that talk about how powerful our minds are, and the fact that our mind is our bodies are created, or I should say our bodies or our health is molded in the image of the mind, might be a better way of putting that. Um, or what else do we have? Let's do our sacred geometry cards. And again, it's going to take a little time for you to actually see this on the screen, but time is an illusion, right? So it's all gray. It's all gray. It's all. Oh my goodness, I need water. It's all great. I'm seeing Kyle Gray's card on my screen, from 2 or 3 minutes ago. The time's an illusion. It's all happening in the present moment. And the frequency that we got is heart chakra. It's number 4. And what it says is the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. So I'm holding it up. Eventually, you get to see it. And when you do get to see the actual card, um, the idea is you gaze into the card and just let yourself blend energetically with the sacred geometry and become one with it, and then you receive the energetic upgrades from it. So this will be an expansion and a boosting of your heart chakra. So it's a reminder to stay in compassion. you know Again, the world is just, things are just coming to a head on our world. People are more negative, more argumentative. There's more challenges in relationships. There's more challenges with dealing with the world. There's more challenges just getting up and going out every single day. Remind yourself to be compassionate, and a little bit of compassion can defuse a negative or a hard situation faster than just about anything. Um, and a good example, just very mundane examples, that I just got yesterday really negative comment on YouTube on a video that I commented on. And first I wanted to fire back, but then when I went into my compassion, I responded in a totally different way. And then the person answered back and had a very different tone. Basically, it's still kind of negative, but the point being is that I didn't feed into the other person's negativity, but rather use that as an opportunity to maybe present some knowledge or some truth to that person. So anyhow, so that's the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, our heart center, that's the portal to our indwelling soul. So we can connect with spirit through the universal heart, through the earth heart, or through our own heart. So there's one heart, and we're different manifestations of that one heart. So we can connect with spirit through internally through the heart, the same way we can externally through the universe. Basically, if that makes any sense. Thank you, Angel Hippie City Healing. Thank you for that. Yes, and I use that. Yeah. So and thank you for that. Can I know that that Children's School of Yoga, aka Doreen's studied with Kyle, so she has the inside scoop on the meanings of these things. All right, so let's do our totem animal from the medicine cards. Speaking Native American stuff. And thank you, Sadai. We're grateful for you also. And that's the idea. Part of the meaning of all this stuff is really connecting with community. That's what we need, that solid foundation of community, of like minded people. Because, again, things are changing, ever so quickly. And there's a lot of ostracization that goes on, a lot of pointing fingers. I often quote Peter Gabriel because I think he's a flat out genius, musically and lyrically. So one of his songs is "You're Not One of Us," and the lyric that came to my mind: "A foreign body and a foreign mind is never welcome in the land of the blind." Then you don't talk or talk like we do, walk like we do. You know how it is. You're not one of us. So there's all this separatism. But when it comes to community, we want to expand and grow in that community and to be able to share and draw from the whole, right? We are a community species. We're a social species for a reason. Humans are not equipped to survive on their own. I mean, you can, obviously, people do it, but we're much better equipped to survive as a community. And that's why we are social. That's why we create friendships. That's why we create relationships and bonds with one another and everything. You're Not One of Us, Peter Gabriel. Yes, from his third album. Yeah, third solo album. Snake. We've gotten snake before. Well, you'll see the snake in a minute, but snake sheds skin. Snake transmutes poisons into medicine. Snake is very powerful, divine feminine energy, and snake is very healing energy. So I think healing is sort of an underlying theme also. Yeah, Mercury is stationing now, or will be in a day or two. It goes direct on Friday. Um, Mercury is the planet of healing. So healing, work with your healing. That's another message for this week for all of us. A good time to meditate, go within, heal from the heart outward. But we talk a lot about heart brain coherence. Oh, okay. So now you're seeing the sacred geometry. So that's interesting, even though I'm talking about the next one. Um, and uh, I'm gonna see what else. And in this card, the snake's also protecting her eggs in this card. So you'll see that eventually on this live stream. And so I think the idea is really working on our own healing, from the heart outwards. So I was talking about heart brain coherence. Our heart's the largest electromagnetic generator in the body. Our heart center, when you do like the auric photography, very often the heart's the biggest of all the chakras, and there's a reason for that, because the as far as the inner chakras go, the heart is the most powerful. Now we also have transpersonal chakra, we have a crown chakra also, but in any event, when we start to bring coherence into the heart, now hearts want to love. That's what, as soul and spirit, we are love, basically, which is why we want to fall in love or rise in love. I like that better. Or why we want to, feel love, experience love, because it brings us closer to who we are, which is spirit, God, or source, or whatever. So when we bring the heart into coherence, we're basically feeling compassion, we're feeling gratitude, we're feeling love. And the heart and the brain are really two parts of the same system. And there's even brain cells in our heart. So science is proving this now. So when we affect the changes in the heart vibration, it affects changes in the brain vibration. So when the heart becomes coherent, now most people's hearts are incoherent. We feel fear. We are in stress 60 to 70% of our waking lives. That brings the heart out of coherence. That brings the brain out of coherence. That makes us easy to control by outside influences. That brings us into fear because we feel separated from our divine source. When we feel separated from our mother as a baby, what happens? We fear, basically. So these natural human emotions are exploited by the powers that be to rob us of our own power. But when we do heart brain coherence and we start to reestablish the power of the heart, reestablish the connection to the heart through divine compassion, love, appreciation, then the brain becomes coherent, and then we become coherent with spirit, and then we tap into our superhuman abilities to create our reality consciously, to heal so-called incurable disease. There's even scientific validation that doing the heart brain coherence practice reduces aging. It suppresses, not suppresses, but there's a word that I can't think of, but through increased telomerase production in the body, that the chromosomes don't degrade as quickly when you do this practice, basically, and then we don't age as quickly. And it said theoretically, anyway, we can even reverse the aging process with that. So anyhow, let me do the angel message, and then we will if I can find my angel cards somewhere. Here they are. So something I saw Dolores Cannon's name come up, so of course I had to flash the Fortunato Saint Germain. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, working with we do a lot of work with the Violet Fire also, and work with Saint Germain energy or Katume, because I believe that's the same ascended master, just in a different earthly form. Katume and Saint Germain. And Saint Germain knew this. Saint Germain had what he called the elixir of longevity, and his life activities can be traced over 110 years. So he lived at least 100, probably closer to 120. And science believes that the outer limit of human life is 120 years, but people live longer than that. And people that live longer than that were interviewed pretty much said the same thing. I live my life simply. I live with compassion. So they were always in the heart. They were always in heart brain coherence. Stress kills. Love heals. It's not that complicated. We are, emotions are very powerful. They're hormones in the body, very, very powerful. When we're in a bad mood, the last thing we want to do is love, right? When we're anxious, we don't want to feel love. When we're angry, we don't want to feel love. We need to override that. We need to override that. And sometimes just doing some long, deep breathing, getting started is the hardest part. I mean, there's been days I've had to literally sit down and force myself to feel love and compassion. Literally had to do that. And you see the snake now, right? But I do it, because I recognize that what I'm feeling in that moment is just a response to my environment and my life. So it's from my ego, it's not from my spirit. I recognize that and I override that. It takes a lot of inner discipline to do it. That's why, even working with law of attraction, that's why it's a spiritual discipline. Because you can know, oh yeah, just do this, just do that. But our feelings, our emotions hijack us. And that's what we need to evolve. That's what we need to evolve out of. Not to lose our emotions, just not to be controlled by them. And then we can use our emotions, we can control our emotions, and emotion is such a powerful energy, it's just a powerful vibration that it changes the fractal universe and changes our reality. So I've gone through a lot of years being, having a lot of anger and frustration issues. My reality became a reflection of my anger and my frustration. Some sooner or later, a point comes where you got to stop blaming the world or other people or situations and recognize that it all starts from within and it all ends from within also, and everything's a reflection of within. And then you start to master life. And what do we get? Indriel. And the message is, you are a light worker. Yes, so you are a light worker. If you are here right now, you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. And I'll hold the card up, in theory that you may actually see it sooner or later. with the uploads delay on the visual end of things. Um, and and that's basically it. There's not much more I could say about Indriel, and just recognize that you are a light worker. And the funny thing happens when you have an awakening, and you start to realize that you're not your body, that your spirit, that your energy. Um, it's so automatic that you start to share with the world. You start to recognize that you have a life purpose and a life mission on this new earth, and you start to own that. So you remember, that you are a light worker. That you are that you are a teacher, you are a healer, you are a psychic, a mystic, and a medium, and all the above yourself. And nobody's better than anybody else. We just have different experiences and different levels of experience and spiritual work and all that stuff, but we're all the same. We're all spirits, and we're all the same source and everything. And that's basically what I have for you guys. So we've been a full hour. Um, break for Clover. Oh, hi, Chris. I didn't see you come on. I like that. We break. Um, Ray of Light, one of my favorite songs. All right. Well, anyway, I flashed the wrong comment. That's okay. Um, and you're welcome, Anna. Thank you, everybody. This tree is for you. Yes. Yeah, and I did a little short YouTube video, on my on the short feeds. I think it was like all of 15 seconds. No, actually, it's a minute long video on how to hug trees, basically. And when we do tree hugging, and then you feel the energy of the trees going through you, and you get a message. That's how the trees hug you back. So when you hug trees, they hug you back. When you hug animals, they hug you back. And I just thought this beautiful short the other day. Where somebody had a pet leopard, and it's just like he's hugging this huge leopard and holding this leopard, and the leopard was hugging the person back. It's just like really beautiful, and we really are built from the foundation of love, and it's just shown through and through, and so many different levels. So I love you. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Oh, on the schedule, I think Tuesday we're going to do the new moon forecast, and then Thursday's the new moon, so we're going to do some work with the master teacher. We're going to do some frequency work to align us energetically to our next phase of awakening that's going to be shown in this next lunar cycle. It's going to be a very healing lunar cycle because it begins at 21 degrees of Virgo. So it's going to be very much about internal healing this next month or 6 weeks or so. So I love you, and see you next time.